Movie review number 1504 is Train Dreams. Train Dreams is a 2025 movie directed by Clint Bentley. This is also based on a novel of the same name by Dennis Johnson. So this movie has Netflix Films, Black Bear Pictures, and Kamala Films. I saw this movie on November 8th, 2025 at Gateway Film Center in Columbus, Ohio. So it looks like this movie was released in cinemas before its streaming debut on November 21st. I've heard a lot of good reviews about this film, and it's really good. So, this movie is about Robert Granio, who is a walker. He works to develop the railroad across the United States that causes him to spend fast times away from his wife and daughter, and is also struggling with his place in the changing world. So, in the beginning of the film, we see Robert being this logger, and at first he was just single, but then he eventually met his future wife, and they eventually have a daughter. Of course, with his job, he is being forced to spend time away from his wife and daughter so that he can earn a living for them. And basically, Robert, just like other men, are loggers. And they go out into the forest, they cut down trees, they're in the logging business. Throughout the movie, we see changes developing in the world, and Robert isn't really sure how to adjust to these changes. I also will say that something happens in the middle of the movie that really changes Robert's wife. And that's really good to see more developments or changes within the world. But this is a movie about a guy that's trying to make a living, wanting to spend time with his wife and daughter, and is really isn't sure of all the changes going on in the world. So the movie is called Train Dreams, and we do see some glimpses of trains going by. And it's interesting how the movie is called Train Dreams. Well, I guess you can say that there are times where Robert is dreaming of a better world, a more simpler world, despite all the changes that are happening. But he also dreams of being with his wife and daughter again. But yeah, I thought it was pretty good. Just to let you guys know, there are some sad and intense scenes in the movie. I think it's PG-13 rated though, but just if you guys have read the book, you probably understand what I'm talking about. But yeah, I thought it was really good. So this movie has Joel Edgerton as Robert Granio. Felicity Jones portrays Gladys Granio, who is Robert's wife. Clifton Collins Jr. portrays Boomer. Carrie Condon portrays Craig Thompson, who is a forestry services worker. William H. Macy portrays On Peoples and is Brothers expert. Judd Tuttle portrays a Siren Man. Rob Price portrays Achilles Walker. Paul Snyder portrays Apostle Frank, who is a talkative walker. Joel Delary portrays Billy, who is an old walker. Alfred Hissing portrays Fu Xiang. Nathaniel Arcane portrays Ignatius Jack, a storekeeper and Robert's friend. Johnny Anuts portrays Kootenai Indian. And Will Patton is the narrator. So there's like a narrator at some parts in the movie, and Will Patton portrays the narrator. Pretty neat. So once this movie goes on Netflix, I definitely recommend seeing this movie. There are times it will make you laugh. There are times it will make you cry. Or there are like some sad scenes in the movie. And it's definitely heartbreaking or sad when a loved one has to go away to work, leaving behind his family. He wants to support his family and he doesn't want to be away from them, but unfortunately, there are times with work that we might have to be away from our families, or people that go off to war, and they just want to come back. They wish it was that simple, but unfortunately, the world is not simple, and Robert knows that. But he's wanting to make an honest living to support his family, and he isn't really sure about what to do when these developments come to the world to the point where Robert may have to find a new job. But I'll let you guys see the movie for yourselves to find out what happens, but it's really good. I definitely recommend it. So that's my movie review of Train Dreams, presentation from this movie review. Alright, goodbye.